everyone. Today I would like to talk about a single B Middle Eastern country that successfully came back to bond markets. And this country is Egypt. The reason of the success is linked to two factors. The first one is the credibility of the Egyptian government, and the second factor is the change of mood we saw in May in financial markets with a return for risk appetite. May 11 is an important day for Egypt. First of all, its rating was reaffirmed by Moody's, and also the IMF granted an emergency loan of $2.8 billion to Egypt on that day, and there's no connection between the two events. Since 2016, Egypt is under a program of the IMF, and it implemented all the necessary reforms to stabilize the economy. And now, with the pandemic and with the global crisis, it's completely out of question to jeopardize this hard-won stability, economic stability, as the IMF said. So the story doesn't stop there, because 10 days later, as Europe was on a bank holiday, Egypt came back to bond markets to issue $5 billion of bonds. And the success was so tremendous that order books reached $22 billion. So with this success, Egypt could tighten the initial conditions, the initial offering of 0.5% on the three maturities. And it's also worth noting that Egypt, for the first time, issued a 40-year maturity bond. The other thing to note is that the return of Egypt also marks the return of a single B emerging country on financial markets. On a standalone basis, because we remember that early May, Bahrain came to the market also successfully, but Bahrain can count on its GCC allies, whereas Egypt has no such connections. But still, it managed to access easily new funding, and also it managed to diversify its funding base that was up to now quite domestic. So Egypt has granted this, has received this IMF loan, 2.8 billion, and also issued 5 billion of new debts, which allowed to close the financing gap for the fiscal year. So this success, as I said earlier, is also linked to the change of mood in the financial markets in May. Even though year-to-date the performance is negative, the Bloomberg Barclays Emerging Index for high yield rose 6.8% in May. So bottom line, yes, Egypt hasn't got a strategic alliance in the region, but its credibility and its track record made the difference, and it's also could enjoy and take advantage of the momentum in financial markets, and as they say, it's better an egg today than a hen tomorrow. So even though the risk premium of Egypt compared to Bahrain on long maturities is still high, there's 130 points of difference in favor of Bahrain, the story is reassuring for investors and for markets. Thank you.